And we welcome you in to Legends Field on the campus of Pendleton Heights High School. Rob Brown and Jim Leisure with you this evening here on 9 Star as the championship game sees the number 2 ranked in Class 4A Center Grove Trojans at 5-0 taking on the hosts and the 9th ranked Pendleton Heights Arabians. Make that the 8th ranked Pendleton Heights Arabians, 3-2. Jim, let's set the stage of how these two teams got here. Kind of a different path for each of these two teams. Center Grove with 2 relative walkover games in their 2 pool play games today, winning over Decatur Central 10-0 and Chesterton 12-0. Both of those 5-inning affairs. Pendleton Heights, though, a different path to get to this championship game tonight.
Yes, Greg Rakestraw and I had the morning game. It was Pendleton versus Jennings County. Well-pitched game by a young lady who's going to start for Pendleton on the mound here, Eliza Findley. Only gave up 1 run. Unfortunately, got 0 run support and ended up taking the loss. So 1-0 Jennings County in the first one. And then in the second one, honestly, Rob, it was more of the same. Lake Central got up 5-0. Pendleton was really struggling to make contact. And then in that 4th inning, they just went nuts. And we're talking home runs all over the field. Base hits, just getting runners on, drawing walks from a pitching staff Lake Central who did not walk a lot of people coming into this tournament. So, again, I said it at the end of the second game, it really looked a little bit more like Pendleton softball. We've done a lot of Pendleton games here on 9 Star TV in the last few years, used to a lot of long balls, especially in this ballpark, and it ended up being a really big Arabian win.
Well, that's a game certainly that Rob Davis's team can hang their hat on in the early season, beating – not only coming from behind to beat a very good Lake Central team. That's the number 4 team in the state and arguably the best 4A program in the northwest corner of the state right now. So that's a huge win. Now they get a chance to play a little bit of revenge, as it were, as Center Grove, the team clad in black, just going through their lineup intro, beat the same Pendleton Heights team on this field within the last week, 15-6.
Yeah, and again, those early season, regular season games, sometimes you don't put a ton of stock into them, and we'll see. Obviously, this Center Grove team looks like it can score 10 runs on just about everybody. So, we'll see. I would expect a closer ball game. I'm not sure who pitched in that first ball game for Center Grove, whether it's the same young lady that's on the mound tonight, Riley Henson. But if it is, then they've all seen her 2 or 3 times now, and hopefully we'll have a little bit more success.
It was indeed. It was Henson got the start, the Indiana State commit. She went 6 innings and gave up 2 runs. Shelby Messer, who pitched earlier in the day as a starter for Pendleton Heights, was the starter in that game for the Arabians. It'll be Eliza Findley, the senior, who will get the start for the Arabians in the rematch here tonight in this Horseshoe Classic 2023 edition. Well, earlier today, in fact, just prior to going on air, Decatur Central defeated Jennings County 7-0 in the 3rd place game. So the Hawks go 2-1 on the day. Meanwhile, Jennings County goes 1-2. And then in the 5th place game, Lake Central defeated Chesterton for the 2nd time this week, as both those programs in the Dueland Conference up in northwest Indiana. Lake Central winning a 6-inning game 10-0 to salvage, get their 2nd win of the day. Chesterton goes 0-3. Those 2 teams played earlier in the week, and Lake Central won that game 23-3. So maybe Chesterton can build on the fact that this game was a little bit closer.
Well, kind of the same deal then here with Pendleton. I mean, you just want to be able to compete. If you're Coach Davis, you got to be able to compete before, honestly, you can win on a consistent basis. And then once you start winning, then you start trying to make that the expectation. But, yeah, again, you never know what's going to happen. It is a little bit odd that Lake Central and Chesterton traveled whatever it is, 120 miles down here. They're probably, I don't know.
I think the schools are probably about 15 miles apart,
exactly.
Would be my guess.
Yeah, that'd be my guess, too. But it is what it is. Obviously, if you don't want to do that, then win the morning game, I guess, and you'd be playing in the championship game against a different squad.
Well, Pendleton Heights clad in the home uniforms, green tops, white pants, white numerals, and lettering. With the high green socks, there's Eliza Findley, the commit to Hope College Division III program up in Michigan. She'll take the circle tonight in this game against Center Grove. Findley on the season, making her 3rd appearance. She's 1-2 on the year. The 3.77 ERA, 13 innings allowed, 12 runs, 7 earned, 17 hits. 7 walks against 7 strikeouts. Center Grove clad in their all-black road uniforms with the red numerals and the black script outlined in red. I believe those that type of uniform will be outlawed here in a couple years in terms of having lettering or numerals the same color as a uniform outlined in an offset color.
Yeah, again, every year the National Federation of High Schools sits down in every sport and talks about potential rule changes. Sometimes it's something as simple as that, just the types of uniforms, the color of uniforms, to anything to, a safety rule that they feel they need to impose.
First pitch is on the outside corner, taking a strike. This game underway. 7:23 our start time. Running a little behind schedule as that Pendleton Heights comeback that Jim outlined earlier took. That was a 2.5-hour game that you guys logged this afternoon.
And I'm sure probably not the only one. You got a lot of games that were high scoring, even if it's just one team. That means a lot of pitching changes. Pitching changes take time. This was originally scheduled to be a 6 p.m. start, so we're obviously about almost an hour and a half behind. But whatever. What else you got to do on a Saturday night?
Absolutely.
If you got something to do, go do it. Otherwise, sit back and relax, enjoy the game.
Spend some time with us.
Yeah.
55 degrees, our game time temperature. That is a rough sun field as the sun sets. Right field, a very treacherous spot. You see the right fielder, Koffel, screening her eyes, even though she's got sunglasses on and a visor.
And yeah, this is normally you play softball games through the week. They start at 5:30. So here we are. This would be the bottom of the 7th inning normally. But it's going to be right now just the top of the first. And eventually the sun will go down and the lights will take effect, and it'll be a little bit easier on the fielders, especially on the right side.
1-2. Chop to third. And Hannah Haberstroh, the leadoff batter, is retired. Haberstroh, a junior, already committed to Ohio State. Mae Munson stands in. You see on the one hopper fielded by...
That was Avery Miller, I believe.
Yep.
I had Morgan Humble on my...
I did as well.
Now, Humble's a kid who pinch hit in the first game and had some success. Coach Davis decided to start her in the second game, and she had a really big ball game. So I'm not sure what happened there as far as why Miller is in the game now, but obviously...
Well, she's a designated player, so she can flip in and out, so we might see... We might see Hubble over there later on in the ball game.
Yeah, I was actually kind of excited to see her because, again, I thought, well, this is the natural progression. Come in as a sub, morning game, do well. Come in as a starter, as the DP in the second game, do really well, and then be rewarded with a start. So I'll take a quick look at it and see if perhaps I...
Ball rolled to second, and Munson's retired, 2 away.
That's Alana Smith there. 4-3.
So here's Riley Janda. 4 Division I commits on this Center Grove roster.
Yeah, I am looking right at it here. It does say Morgan Humble in the 6 hole, number 13, playing 5 or third base. So we'll figure it out.
Janda, the junior, scheduled to play it, committed to Louisville. Should underscore that anybody who is not a senior and committed can change their minds. Not signed a letter of intent yet. And on the fist, and that pitch fouled wide of the bag at third.
Yeah, not horribly uncommon really in any sport. Sometimes you'll see a freshman basketball player perhaps verbally commit to someone, and I normally just roll my eyes because I figure, that'll probably change 3 or 4 times.
2 or 3 times, yeah.
Yeah, he'd probably change high schools 2 or 3 times nowadays.
Outside corner taking a strike. Janda thought about it. Now she's behind in the count 1-2.
Really good pitching, good spot, and we talk about this all the time, but if you can stay there as a pitcher, if you can have command over your pitches, man, just stay right there because if they do hit it, they're not going to be able to hit it hard.
That ball hit powerfully into the gap in left center, and it one hops the wall. Janda will open to second base with a 2-out stand-up double.
Janda does a really nice job with 2 strikes there. You got to really concede a little bit. Battles back, stays in there, and just hits the one hop to the fence here. One hops the fence. Boom, boom, right there. Really nice cutoff by Pendleton to keep her at second base.
That ball rolled right back to the pitcher. And Finley will flip it over to retire Ashlyn Wolf, the cleanup hitting shortstop, to end the inning. So the Trojans strand Janda down at second base.
Really good start for Liza Finley. I mean, again, this is a ball club that has been knocking the fences down. And to come out here and get them not 1, 2, 3, but certainly get them quick is a big deal. We'll see if Coach Davis is a good shot of him pacing in front of the dugout. And his crew can build on this momentum.
Riley Henson is the starter for the Trojans in this championship game. There you get a look at Rob Davis in his 13th season as the Pendleton Heights head man. Led his program to a regional title last year, and their first in 9 seasons.
Well, they had really built, honestly, Rob, to that year last year. They had seniors that had been playing for 3 and sometimes 4 years, and just some really, really nice players. Now, here's the good news. You graduate that group, all right, but they've got a good group behind them, and they've got some seniors who didn't get to play a lot last year, but hopefully they sat around and they watched how that other group prepared both in the offseason and during the season at practices and in games. And, again, when you have a program, you don't really rebuild. You just kind of reload, and that's what Coach Davis has got in front of him right here.
Henson, the left-hander. You don't see a lot of left-handed pitchers in high school softball, but Henson, the left-hander, the Indiana State commit. She comes into today's action 3-0 on the season with a 1.65 ERA. It does not include stats from the 2 games earlier today. Last year she went 11-5.
Yeah, I can remember years ago in my playing days, baseball, obviously, we didn't see a lot of lefties either, but when we did, I normally hit them and hit them fairly well, and I think back now as an adult, and I realize it was probably because I was more focused. You know, I was a little bit, oh my gosh, we're facing a lefty. I don't normally see lefties. And so I think I would go to the batter's box with a little bit stronger focus because I wasn't a great hitter.
It's Kaya Hubble leading it off. Junior hits from the left side of the plate. He hit 474. That's a current number, including the 2 games earlier today.
And a good hitter's count here, so we'll see if she's going to try to cut loose on one. She does have that split-style grip.
Slaps one right back to the screen. See that flag out in center field, the flag gusting a little bit. It does not seem, Jim, that the wind is as pronounced as it was earlier in the day when you guys were calling that 10 o'clock or that 2 o'clock game.
Well, but I will tell you the wind is still blowing in the same direction. Very weird. It's coming from like the northeast, and normally doesn't do that, as the umpire says she went.
Count evens at 2-2.
Indiana, obviously, if you know, the wind normally comes from the west, sometimes the northwest, occasionally from the south, but rarely, if ever, from the east.
And foul back to the screen again.
Hubble doing the job of a good leadoff hitter here, seeing a lot of pitches. Hopefully the next hitters are focused and paying attention to what Henson is throwing.
That ball slapped over the shortstop and into left field. That's a base hit. So a leadoff hit going the other way is the junior Kaya Hubble.
That ball was just bobbled briefly. You see the replay there. Nice job. Good piece of hitting. We bobbled briefly right there, but not enough for Hubble to make a wide turn and turn that into 2.
Here's the senior Lily Koffel, the right fielder.
Koffel, a young lady that batted 9th in the first game, got a couple hits. Coach Davis put her in the 2-hole the second game, and she's still there.
Bunt foul back. Just about to ask you, Jim, if you thought the bunt play would be on here. Try to get a run early.
Yeah,
on the board in the first inning.
Yeah, I mean,
small ball here early.
You've had a good half inning. Coach Davis and his squad. I used to always talk to our kids about half innings. We just had a good half inning. Now we need to put the second half together. It would be nice to get a run here. To me, that would be considered a good inning.
That ball rolled to third, And the play goes to first. Meyer took a look at second, but then threw across to Baird for the out. Koffel does her job moving the runner over to second.
Yeah, not really a sacrifice per se, but you see the little kind of half swing and tried to hit it to the left side, which is where she wanted it. And nice job of picking it up and firing it over there was Bryn Meyer to Hayden Baird.
Senior catcher Sydney Clark hits from the right side. And 250 on the year. Takes a pitch down, a ball.
And catcher not really doing herself any favors there, Peyton Szymanski, by really bringing the glove up. She brought it up a lot. Umpires normally don't like when there's that much movement. They understand you're going to frame it, but don't basically try to trick me or try to show me up.
That pitch is to shade higher and call the strike.
Correct.
Exactly
that was definitely a strike. There's no doubt about it.
Yep, right at the knees. Clark late on that one and fouls it back.
And now she's got to kind of protect here. Just be smart. I say it all the time. I don't think kids do it anymore. But choke up a little bit, shorten the back, control it. Try to hit something hard.
Pitch out and away. Interesting, the center fielder, Haberstroh, is shading Clark to go the other way.
As is the left fielder, and they obviously don't think that she can get around on Henson. They think she's going to be late.
Fouled back to the screen.
Late on the pitch, and they may be right. I can remember years ago I played center field, and when we had a kid that threw really hard, I didn't have too much confidence in anybody being able to pull him.
Count even with Clark. One out, runner at second, bottom of the first. Fouled back again.
Clark having a bat similar to the one by Kaya Hubble. Fouling off a bunch of pitches, just being a pest.
Henson looking into the dugout. Now comes to the plate. On the ground to second. Double clutch by Janda, and the throw on the first to Baird to the out. 2 away as Hubble moves over to third base. And that'll bring up the cleanup hitter, Caitlin Goodwin.
And again, as you see, just a little bit behind the pitch, hits it to the right side. The double clutch there, she looks like maybe she didn't have a very good grip on it. Very wisely looked at the runner, saw she had time. Sometimes you'll see kids that will just basically try to push the ball over there anyway. So now runner on third base. I mean, there are a lot of different ways you can score. Pass ball, wild pitch, obviously base hit.
Goodwin fouls that one back. Goodman, one of 5 players to hit a home run in that 14-7 win over Lake Central. Jim mentioned that earlier. The Arabians rallying from 5 down in the bottom of the third inning to win 14-7. Pitch out and away. Count evens at 1-1.
Rob, I got to be honest with you, too. I was almost, when it was 5-0 Lake Central, I mean, I was thinking 10-run rule. I was thinking,
yep. Oh, yeah.
You know, where's the lineup? Do they have enough time? And then all of a sudden, Pendleton said, hold up on that.
Late swing, fouled back.
I think it's former IU coach Lee Corso's, one of his lines is, not so fast, my friend. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you have to point the pencil when you do that as well.
Not so fast.
Runner at third. Pitch out and away.
Good call.
Interesting routine by Goodwin here. You see, right when she steps into the box, she'll lean across. When the pitcher comes set, she'll lean across and draw a line in the opposite batter's box. Just caught the tail end of it there. Pitch high, and the count runs full.
Yeah, Rake and I were talking about that. We noticed that Tuesday against Shenandoah. Myself and John Herrick were here, and she was going all the way over and literally tapping the far corner of the right hand.
You see it right here. She'll come across, drag the bat, and draw a line in the right-hand batter's box, then come set. And she swings through that one. Henson has the strikeout to end the inning. Each pitcher strands a runner as we're scoreless through 1. We'll step aside quickly and come right back. Inning number 2 straight ahead as you're watching Indiana High School Softball on 9-Star TV and the ISC Sports Network.
We are really heavily involved in the community, so there are multiple different volunteer opportunities that we can go and do.
Volunteer time to share their time and talents with organizations that need not only monetary assistance, but just people's time to help those organizations grow and thrive.
9-Star is a different kind of company, and the difference is you.
Rob Brown, Jim Leisure back with you at Legends Field on the campus of Pendleton Heights High School. Championship game of this 2023 Horseshoe Classic. 8th-ranked Pendleton Heights Arabians, 3-2 on the year, taking on number 2-ranked Center Grove, 5-0. Certainly Center Grove, Jim, with their eye on the top spot, thinking, I'm sure it's on their minds that if they can find a way to win the game tonight, they might vault into the number 1 spot in the state rankings, with Roncalli top-ranked getting a tie earlier this week against Columbus North.
Yeah, and that's kind of the way it works normally. You win, and the team above you either loses. You don't get too many ties in softball. It does happen occasionally. You get two teams together, and maybe it starts to get late. It starts to get dark. Yep. School doesn't have lights. We're not going to come back and finish it. It ends up being somewhat like a scrimmage. Hey, look, we got some good at-bats. Y'all had some good at-bats.
Yeah.
We'll see you next year.
Here's Peyton Szymanski. Hits from the right side, senior catcher, committed to Columbia University. Takes a strike. Oh, down 0-2.
Finley just getting ahead of hitters. Good location. And if you got a shot, and I would definitely, based on the score of this between these two teams a couple days ago, Pendleton's the a little bit of an underdog here. So one way to upset people is to get ahead of them. Tried a little bit of an off-speed pitch, didn't quite reach the plate.
So Peyton Szymanski, Hayden Baird, and Ariana Powell due up for the Trojans here in this top of the second.
Team batting average of .418.
That's pretty good.
That's
pretty good. Off the end of the bat, Shelton has it over at short. Quick throw to first for the out, one away. Shelton was on that one quickly.
So nice job there of eliminating a decent and dangerous hitter. But unfortunately, it's kind of like the 27 Yankees here. It just keeps getting worse. Hayden Baird, who's in the box now, bats .545.
Has a home run on the year. Takes a strike at the knees.
Again, hitting spots, getting ahead. You can pitch a long time when you do that.
Off-speed pitch. As Finley took a little something off of it, and Baird was way out front.
And that was the same pitch that she tried to get Szymanski with and didn't quite get it to the plate. That one had a little more oomph.
Outside corner just misses. 1-2. Shadow starting to grow across the infield. Softball comes through the sunlight and into the shadow at the hitter. Nubbed foul down the first base side into the netting.
And, of course, that same phenomenon where, like, the pitcher's in the sunlight, but the hitter and home plate is in the shadows. And a lot of big league ballparks, that's a deal because of the way they're built, but probably none more so than Wrigley Field back before they had lights. They did not get lights until 1988. And they started a lot of 120 games, and, man, about 230. And if you had a guy that was like Nolan Ryan that was gassing it up there.
Nubbed to third. Charging foul ball.
Yep, going to say a hitter in the foot.
That's Miller is still over there at third.
Third base umpire immediately called it.
Yep. 3-man crew for this championship game. Count holds 1-2.
Coach Davis and his brain trust there.
Seeking the corner, and Finley just misses. Count evens 2-2.
But you know what? That's where the catcher set up. That's where Sydney Clark was setting. And, again, she is hitting the glove. She is absolutely dialed in right now. Now, granted, the umpire noticed pre-pitch probably that she was off the plate, and then when they hit right there, he called it a ball. But
inside corner taken, strike 3. First strikeout of the game for Finley. And let's go to work on Ariana Powell, the sophomore designated player.
Now, Powell came into the ball game batting 1,000, but again, in very limited at bats.
That ball is laced into the gap in right center. Quickly coming over to cut it off is Hubble. Relays it in, holding Powell to a long single to right center. Two outs.
One of the things about this Pendleton team is they are very good defensively, and again, that ball, even though it got to the wall, the ball was absolutely crushed. Again, good job of getting to it, getting in a throwing position quickly, setting your feet, throwing a strike to the cutoff person, and keeping the runner off of second base and out of scoring position.
Here's the freshman, Bryn Meyer. Third baseman hits from the left side. 2 outs and a runner on. Slap foul down the left side. These teams played 8 days ago, a week ago yesterday, here at Pendleton. Center Grove jumped out to a 7-0 lead and cruised to a 15-6 win. Poked wide of the line and foul.
Opportunity there, again, just to go over that rule. A lot of confusion at every level. Parents will say, well, her foot was on the line. It doesn't matter where the fielder is. It's only where the ball is when it's first touched. So she's on the line, but that is clearly a foul ball. The ball is first touched foul. Where the defensive player is does not matter.
That ball is slapped by the third baseman into left field for a base hit. So a little 2-out action by the Center Grove offense puts runners at first and second, 2 outs, and the number 9 hitter, Kennedy Warner, stands in.
So a nice little 2-out rally from your 7 and 8 hitters. Let's see if Warner can keep it going, and that would be huge if she could. Get back up to the top of the batting order. She squares the bunt, but she ain't going to bunt.
Rolled to short. Shelton charged it. Jump throw across for the out. And that'll retire the side as Center Grove strands 2. We're through an inning and a half, no score. Pendleton Heights coming to bat, but a couple hits at the bottom of the order for Center Grove. I heard a broadcaster earlier today say that if you got offense from the 7, 8, 9 spots, you could win a lot of games. I heard a guy say that earlier today.
Probably just a local moron, because I say it every game, but because it's true. I mean, and again, just like with Pendleton Heights, Lily Koffel didn't like batting 8th or 9th or whatever she was, so she went out there and wrapped a couple hits, and all of a sudden you're batting second.
There's Alyssa Coleman in her 5th season at Center Grove. She accomplished something very few coaches in the IHSAA at any sport have done, and that's win back-to-back state championships with 2 different programs. Winning the Class 2A title with Speedway in 2018, and then she turned around, got the Center Grove job about a month after the state final, and led the Trojans to a state championship in her first year there in 2019 at the 4A level.
Yeah, incredibly difficult to do. I mean, a lot of times when you take a new job, it takes time for kids to kind of get used to your style, get used to the things you expect.
Pitch high as Bo Shelton stands in, leads the team with 3 home runs. All 3 of her hits have been home runs so far this year. And she fouled one right at the edge of the dugout. And that hit an assistant coach. It looked like it caught him right in the shin bone. He's going to feel that one tomorrow morning on his way to church.
Yeah, and again, both coaching staffs kind of pick interesting places to sit.
And that gentleman on the left there is the one who caught it.
Black sweats, yeah.
Yep. Pitch taken at the knees, a strike.
I'm just at my age and my physical abilities now. I would probably be sitting behind the 9-star truck.
You're well out of range at that point.
I normally park my car the same way. I've been hit by so many foul balls, so now I park my car so far away. It's been towed twice because people thought it was an abandoned vehicle.
It's like parking in Scooby-Doo 6 at Kings
Exactly.
Island. You got to take the tram to the ballpark.
Listen, if you're going to hit my car, you're going to have to hit it, run out there and pick it up, and hit it again. And now you have a shot.
Count is full with the leadoff hitter Shelton in the bottom of this second inning. And Shelton draws the leadoff walk. So leadoff base runner for the Arabians in this bottom of the second of a scoreless game.
And this is the aforementioned Morgan Humble who will bat. I'll go ahead and make that change.
Yep, she's in as the designated player.
Yeah.
And Avery Miller in at the third baseman. First pitch taken, a ball. Humble hitting .556 with a home run. Homered earlier today.
She did hit an absolute bomb.
Pitch taken at the knees, a strike. Was that the home run that you said that if it hadn't been into the wind, it might have landed at Shenandoah? So
No, I think that was the one that was hit over here in the right field. She hit one in the left center.
Rolled to second, chance for two, flip to one, on to first, double play, 4-6-3. Well done. Initiated by Janda, over to Wolf, to Baird, and the Trojan defense clears the bases, 2 away.
You're going to see the replay here again. Very nice turn, field flip, and then a good tag and got out of the way of the slide. Just very fundamental stuff. And Humble not the fastest runner on the team, and they probably knew that. Again, you got a good infielder kind of looks around and they see, okay, the catcher's running or the first baseman's running. If I bobble it or whatever, I still have time to make the play. On the other hand, there's other kids you look at and you go, Usain Bolt is running, so if I bobble it, it's over. I'm just going to eat it.
That ball fouled down the line into the right field corner. And I didn't catch it with the naked eye, but on that replay, you saw that was a nice play by the first baseman, Hayden Baird, to pick that ball out of the dirt,
Sure.
too, on that low throw. And what she knew was going to be a fairly close play. Pitch high. Be 2-1 the count. 2 outs. Bottom of the second. That ball lifted in the air to right in the sun field, and a nice job by Kennedy Warner to fight the sun and haul that one in for the final out in the inning. Double play by Center Grove clears the bases. We're through 2 and scoreless. Back with inning number 3 after this pause on 9 Star TV and the ISC Sports Network.
9 Star is very focused on customer and member care, focused on making sure that however we communicate with the member and customer is how they want to communicate.
You know, sometimes we're the one person that they speak to in a day, and you want that conversation to be happy and pleasant.
As a nonprofit co-op, we're focused on providing the best service we can for our members.
9 Star is a different kind of company, and the difference is you.
The sun's setting in beautiful Pendleton, Indiana on this Saturday night, Easter weekend. Hope you're having a good one. Glad you're spending part of your Saturday night with us here on 9 Star TV. Rob Brown alongside Jim Leisure. John Painter heading up our fabulous 9 Star TV crew. Put in a full day's work. 3 games here on 9 Star, this being the finale.
And to the credit of the Pendleton Heights High School athletic staff, and I know it looked like some of the softball parents as well. Nice spread up here in the press box. Our camera crew today has been well fed. Always nice coming here. The hospitality is beyond peer.
Haberstroh, the leadoff hitter, founds that one down the left side. I think I've eaten my body weight in sugar cookies before tonight's ball game.
Well, that middle game kind of went a little bit longer than we anticipated, so Haberstroh batting .538. You know, she only had not even a half swing there, and Still hit that ball about 140 feet.
She hit .523 last season. Led the team in hitting. As a sophomore, mentioned she's committed to Ohio State. Off-speed pitch stays up, and it's 2-1. Center Grove outscoring their opponents 22-0. And it's 2 pool play games earlier today with wins over Decatur Central and Chesterton. An off-speed pitch, slap foul down the left side.
A little bit of a slap that time, and Haberstroh's talented enough that, she could probably hit, both styles. I mean, she could be a slap hitter, but she could probably just settle down and try to drive the ball and still have success.
And trying that left side punch and can't keep it inside the foul line. Foul again down the left side.
She sets up like a traditional hitter, power hitter type, and then eventually when the pitcher comes in, she'll kind of choke up a little bit. She rolls the bat up in her fingers and tries to get to that slap position.
Infield is way in on the left side. Hit back up the box, ricochets off the glove of Finley. Shelton's momentum was taking her the other way, and there'd be no play. Infield hit.
Yeah, absolutely nothing you can do about it. But again, if Finley does not touch this, I think Shelton clearly gets it and throws her out. But it is what it is.
So infield hit for Haberstroh. 4th hit of the game for the Trojans. Here's Munson. Fouls the bunt off the foot of the catcher, Clark. First time in 3 innings that Center Grove has had the leadoff hitter reach. Pendleton Heights has had the leadoff hitter reach in each of its first 2 trips to the plate. Now, Alyssa Coleman wants time to talk with her sophomore left fielder.
The last time that Munson squared, it was traditional bunt defense. Bring in both corners and the pitcher. You kind of basically 3-way smother the ball. But when you do that, whoever does not field it between the pitcher, catcher, and third baseman needs to cover third base.
That ball is slapped wide of the third baseman who was playing way in. Pretty deft bat handling by Munson, and she's got a base hit. 2 on, nobody out.
And the only thing that kept that from getting really, really ugly was a really smart play by the left fielder, Gloria Richardson, who was also pulled in a little bit. Left-handed hitter, she's playing shallow, but look where she's at. She's right on that line, and that's what kept that from being a double and runners on second and third.
Miller did get a glove on that to kind of knock it down a little bit.
So second time through the order for 1, 2, and 3 here.
Now the 3-hitter, Riley Janda, at .412 last year. The team high, or second on the team, with 27 RBIs.
I think they're going to be more than content just to let her swing the bat. Nope.
Shows bunt, throw down to third, and a tag. She's out.
Really, really nice play by Sydney Clark, and then fires the ball down to Avery Miller, who makes a nice tag. Little surprised why you would steal there.
I think that's the shortstop Shelton that came over to cover the bag, I think.
Yes, it is. Okay.
Wow.
Okay, yeah, because the
Miller was coming in, yeah.
Yeah. Why you steal there? Sometimes I think people are just allergic to runs.
That ball is hit the other way into right field. The right fielder reaches up and makes the play. Oh, my. Koffel may have overrun that ball a little bit, and she stuck the glove up and pulled it out of the sky for the second out of the inning.
Who does she think she is? Gloria Richardson? Nice play. Well, I tell you again, we already talked about it, but the defense here is really, really good. Richardson has made plays similar to that these first few ball games, and obviously somebody has coached up Lily the same way. Said, hey, be more like Gloria.
Runner at third. Knuckled into right field. This time, Koffel has plenty of time to settle under that one for the third out. So Center Grove strands another runner, fourth in 3 innings. That one was in on the handle a little bit. And Koffel's able to bring that one in for the third out. So we're through 2.5, and we're scoreless between Center Grove and Pendleton Heights.
2 hits, no runs, no errors.
Center Grove with 5 hits through the 3 innings, but yet to get a run across. So that's certainly a credit, Jim, to the Pendleton Heights defense that have made plays in multiple spots here in the first 3 innings.
Yeah, normally when a team goes through the lineup at the second time, again, they've seen the movement, they've seen the location, they've seen the speed. So sometimes you'll have a little bit more success, but because of some really strong defense by Pendleton, both in the infield, the outfield, and behind the plate, they weren't able to turn that into anything.
Lights turned on here at Legends Field as the sun's setting off to our left. Hitters 8-9-1 due up for the Arabians in this bottom of the third. Gloria Richardson, Avery Miller, and the top of the order, and Kaya Hubble. Gloria Richardson stands in, hitting even 200 on the year and on the fist and fouled back. Well, that ball was fouled into the screen near the Center Grove dugout, and
I think I'd move.
that assistant coach who got hit the previous inning flinched, and he might as well just have a orange jacket on over there. He's such a target.
Yeah.
0-2 to Richardson, leading off this bottom of the third of a scoreless game. Takes pitch outside corner, strike 3. Strikeout number 2 for Henson. Both of them looking. And now the number 9 hitter, Avery Miller. And on the fist, fouled back and over the netting. Miller hitting .308 on the season.
Well, if you're Pendleton Heights, you'd really like to get her on and have 1 and 2 take a shot at knocking her around there and getting her in.
And then on the fist, fouled back, and it's quickly 0-2.
Get them on, get them over, get them in.
Pendleton Heights will be right back here on Monday night to host Shelbyville. Center Grove will get back at it on Monday as well, hosting Martinsville. Pitch at the belt, taken for strike 3. Second strike out of the inning. And to the top of the order, and Kaya Hubble.
Riley Henson did come into the tournament today with 25 Ks against only 4 walks.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, she has yet to walk anybody.
Hubble hitting .474, has the Arabians' only hit, slaps it right back to the circle. Henson over to first for the out. And for the first time tonight, the Arabians are retired 1-2-3. We're through 3 in a scoreless game. Top of the 4th is next after this pause on the 9-Star TV and the IHSAA Sports Network.
3, 2, 1.
Has the first dunk in the building from Aaron Joya. Waits, Waddell finishes. And lays it in. There is right now the play of the game. Better finish. Good. We might see that on plays of the week. Great feed. The finish. Spin, win, 3. Bury it to lane. No, God, yes. Whoa, what a play. Flying in.
A look at the booth here at Legends Field. Good thing I remember to shave this morning. You never know.
Well, and I'm
You just don't know.
I haven't shaved since the Johnson administration, and I'm talking about the guy after Lincoln, Andrew
Well,
Johnson.
you can pull it off.
Well.
Me, not so much.
It's just a lot of work.
You're a retired guy, though, too.
Well, exactly.
The rules are different. You operate under a different set of rules than I do.
Emphasis on the word tired. Okay, I'm
Fair
retired,
enough.
and I'm just tired.
Fair enough.
You know what? If I was on fire, I'm not sure I would have the energy to stop, drop, and roll. I might just sit there.
Peyton Szymanski leads it off here in the top of the fourth of a scoreless game. Center Grove, the number 2 team in this week's poll, Class 4A. We saw the number 4 team, Lake Central, go down to Pendleton Heights earlier today. I know the number 3 team and number 1 team in Class 4A, Bedford North Lawrence 3rd and Roncalli number 1, are both in action over at the Terre Haute South Bash. And I know Bedford lost to Avon earlier today, so you would imagine they would take a little bit of a drop in the rankings.
2-0, a good pitch for Szymanski here. She's looking for something to drive, almost probably salivating, saying, leave me something about belt high, outer half, and I'm going to bust it.
And she hits a screamer on the ground to Miller, who makes a nice play at third. Gets it across the diamond for the out, one away. Good play by the freshman Avery Miller.
Yeah, and that was the ball was on the inner half and just kind of hit it right off the kind of middle of the bat. Now, maybe I don't know her. Maybe she likes inside pitches. My favorite pitch was always kind of belt high, outer half. I didn't even really like the one right down the middle. I wanted it to be a little bit outside so I can extend my hands.
That was my next question for that reason. Dumped into right field and the base hit. First pitch swinging Hayden Baird, and she has the 6th Center Grove hit of the night.
6 hits, and you know what? So far, because of some really good defense and some really good pitching, Pendleton Heights Center Grove has not been able to turn any of them into runs.
Alyssa Coleman is going to send a runner in. Let's see who emerges from the dugout. Kirsten Harden is the runner.
And this is a true substitution here, so no courtesy runner. There is a difference. And I would imagine that she will then be re-entered, speaking of Baird, to play first base.
Right back to the circle. Finley with time, collects it and throws over to first for the out, 2 away. So Harden moves over to second.
Yeah, good smart play there again. You probably didn't have much of a shot at 2 anyway, but once you bobble it, there's absolutely no way you have a shot at 2. So when in doubt, get an out.
Bryn Meyer, 2 outs and a runner on second. Meyer singled the other way to left, her first time up. Takes a pitch right down the heart for strike 1. Finley's ready. The 0-1. Late swinging foul, backing out of play.
Well, Eliza Finley has really just been doing a nice job getting ahead of hitters and just attacking, not giving them anything. Don't concede. I know sometimes you're 0-2, you might want to go ahead and throw one a little bit outside and let them fish, but she's just been attacking the zone.
That pitch out and away, and a nice job by Clark to scoop it out.
Which is the aforementioned 0-2 pitch. Here you go. If you want to get yourself out, hit that.
To your point, Jim, this is the 8th hitter the second time through the Center Grove lineup, and I can't recall more than 2 hitters where Finley was behind in the count.
Right.
The 1-2. Fouled back again.
And you know what? You try to explain that to pitchers in both, baseball and softball, how important that first strike is. And then, honestly, then getting the 0-2. Now you can have all kinds of fun. I mean, that hitter has to concede here. You can't swing with 2 strikes like you do when you have no strikes.
And late swinging back to the screen. Meyer keeping the at-bat alive. 2 outs and a runner down at second. Scoreless game. It's top of the 4th from Legends Field.
Of course, we always called that two-strike hitting. I know a lot of kids I coached down through the years didn't want to two-strike hit. You change your approach, your stance, the whole 9 yards. And I'd always say, well, if you don't like to two-strike hit, don't get two strikes.
Dumped into left field, and it drops in front of the left fielder. Running all the way is Meyer, and she'll come around to score. Runner safe at second. RBI two-out double by Meyer. The pinch runner Harden scores the game's first run.
Well, very difficult play for Richardson and left. She's coming in, thought about diving. Honestly, if she had, she would not have come up with it. Ball does get away from her. That's not an error, though. That run scores anyway. With 2 outs, the runner was already halfway to home when that ball got away from Richardson.
And that ball is hit into left field, and Richardson makes a running catch for the 3rd out of the inning. So in the inning, Center Grove, though, gets on the board with the game's first run, the 2-out double by Meyer plates Harden. In the inning, the Trojans get 2 more hits and lead this game 1-0. Great job by our crew on that previous replay on that bloop double. That ball hit about a foot, maybe a half a foot inside the foul line as Richardson was charging hard but couldn't quite get there.
Yeah, and as good as she is, and honestly, she's very good, she couldn't come up with that. I mean, again, had she dove, she would not have gotten it. All that would have done was maybe get past her and then basically made a bad situation even worse.
And it took a funny hop
Yep.
as she went to collect it with her throwing hand. If you take a look at this replay again by our fine crew, it kind of spins sideways away from her, and she has to go get it. Even, I think, if she fields that cleanly on the hop, Harden's going to score on that play.
Oh, there's no doubt that the run will score. Is there a chance maybe to keep her off second base would be the only.
Yeah. Yep.
Again, the batter or the runner at second base was off on contact because there was 2 outs.
So here's Koffel as the Arabians try and get a run back in the bottom of the 4th, trailing 1-0. Koffel grounded to third in her first time at bat. Hitters 2, 3, 4 due up for the Arabians in this bottom 4. Koffel drops a bunt down, and it spins foul. She's behind in the count 0-2.
And, you talk about that spin on that play in left field. Again, left-handed hitter, the ball is spinning that way. If you've ever played pool and you put a little English on the ball, you kind of inside out. It hit that right side of the ball to make it spin, and that's what it did. And when it hit the ground, it took off.
Pitch just missed the corner. Henson was seeking it for strike 3, but missed a shade outside. It's 1-2. And it's slapped into the glove of the third baseman. Can't find the handle. There's no play.
I think
that will go as an error.
Really tough call. We'll see it here.
And Meyer handcuffed a little bit on that ball.
Yeah.
So that'll go in the books as an E5.
Okay.
Here's Meyer. Nubs this one in the air, in the infield. Collected by the first baseman, Baird, for the 1st out of the inning. Now here's Goodwin, who struck out swinging to end the inning. In the 1st, I should say. Runner over at 1st and 1 away. Pendleton Heights trailing 1-0. Swing and a miss. Big cut.
Outfield playing again just slightly for her to hit away. They're not playing to pull. Left-handed hitter. Center fielder out there, Hannah Haberstroh, is left center field side of second base.
And that ball hit right at Haberstroh. She barely had to move, and it settles into her glove. They had that played perfectly. 2 away.
Well, it's as if they played each other 10 days ago. And the coaches.
Or if somebody's got a spray chart in the dugout. 2nd out of the inning. Here's Shelton.
Coach Davis wouldn't be the worst idea in the world to try to start a runner here, because if she does get thrown out, then you lead the next inning with Bo Shelton. But if she's successful, Bo has a runner in scoring position and maybe can slap one down.
Shelton always a home run threat. Fist this one foul down the right side. She's behind the count. 0-2. Shelton walked to lead off the second in her first plate appearance of this championship game.
Again, 0-2. You got to worry about perhaps a pitch out. Probably don't want to send a runner here.
Swing and a miss on a high fastball out of the zone, and Shelton's retired. That's the fourth strikeout of the game for Henson. And Pendleton Heights strands the leadoff runner. We're through 4. Center Grove leads this one 1-0. Top of the 5th coming next as you're watching Indiana High School softball on 9-Star TV and the ISC Sports Network.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 160,000 participants here in Indiana who take part in high school sports.
I see everyone bundled up here tonight as the sun is setting on a Saturday evening. You see both. I always enjoy this time of year coming to a high school softball or baseball game because you'll see people dressed like it's 15 degrees, and then you'll see other people dressed like it's 75 degrees.
Yeah, and we talked about this the other night. I can't remember what year it was, but I remember I stood in the third base coach's box, and I believe I went through all 4 seasons in one game. I mean, it started out, I can't remember where, but it started out, it was springtime, and then it kind of morphed into like summer, and then we had kind of a cool fall night, and then it started snowing. And this all happened in 7 innings, so.
Haberstroh leads off the top of the 5th and takes a pitch away. She's 1 for 2, grounded to third in the first, infield single, and caught stealing in the third. And, of course, in the fall, there's always those assistant football coaches at semi-state who have short pants on.
Oh, gosh,
just to show everybody.
Yeah. I was never that guy.
That's a different mentality.
I looked like the Bob Gregory kid.
Yeah, what I know about you, you strike me as the opposite of that guy.
I'm not that guy.
On the sideline at semi-state.
I try to pride myself on not being an idiot. Now, I'm not always successful. But, hey, if it gets below 45 degrees, yeah. I'm definitely in long pants. But 45 in the winter is colder than 45 in the spring.
Oh, no question.
After it's been 7 all, for the last 3 months, 45 that's short weather.
No question.
But then, you get 45 in October.
Yeah.
And you're wearing long pants.
Or the third Friday in November.
Yeah.
Haberstroh ahead in the count 2-1. And slaps that one foul.
Third time through the order here for Hannah and the rest of her Trojan teammates. But, again, up till now, Finley has been pitching really well, so let's see if she can continue to do that.
She's managed to scatter 7 hits. Only a 2-out double brought a Center Grove run home in the 4th. Haberstroh calls for and gets time. Finley took a little bit too long.
And, of course, this is not the major leagues in terms of rules, so if it was, she would not be able to call time again.
That pitch floats in high.
Some of the craftier major league pitchers have figured out that once a hitter has called time and they can't do it again, so what they'll do is they'll come set with about 14 seconds to go on that pitch clock and then just stand there and stare at them and make them feel as uncomfortable as possible. A little bit of activity in the bullpen.
And that pitch is a foul ball. Hit the handle of the bat, I believe.
And that's what they're calling. And then the home plate umpire immediately went foul ball.
Yep.
Not hit batsman. That is Shelby Messer. We're going to see it here.
Absolutely hit the handle.
Yeah, years ago we used to teach hitting, and we would tell kids to take the handle of the bat to the ball. Well,
punch to third. Miller with a circus play, but late getting the throw over. And Haberstroh beats it out. Miller knocked it down, took a high hop, almost bounced over her head. She knocked it down. but not enough time once she gathered it in to beat the speedy Haberstroh to first. That'll be scored, an infield hit.
See, I thought that was more of an error than the other one. The other one was hit hard. That one here was kind of just a high hopper. Probably should have come down with it. The other one was a screaming drive that, granted, she misplayed, but, I mean, Brooks Robinson is dead, I think.
He might still be alive,
I know.
actually.
No sooner did I say that.
I think he might still be with us.
Yeah, him and Boog Powell hanging out there.
I believe Boog is with
I know
us.
Boog is. He sells the barbecue outside the gate.
And that's fantastic. If
I've
you've ever
heard.
been to Camden Yards,
I've
it's
not.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Boog Powell's barbecue in the right field
And
corner.
I think it's great, too, that, again, an Oriole legend like that, is still hanging around the ball club and still mingling with the fans.
Swing and a miss. Throw down. Haberstroh has a stolen base. Safe in ahead of the tag. Second stolen base of the game for the Trojans.
Looks like Clark double clutches just a little bit here. No, maybe not. I thought originally that she had hesitated just a little bit. Again, good communication. First baseman's down there going steal, steal, steal. Catcher just comes up throwing. Don't have to look at nothing.
Hudson runs up on that one and keeps the bat on her shoulder. And it's 2-2. Munson 1 for 2. Grounded to second, then slapped a single into left field their second time up. Pitch high, and it's 3-2. One nothing the score. Center Grove leads in the top of the fifth. Championship game of the Horseshoe Classic. Rolled on the ground to second, and it rolls right up the arm of the second baseman, Smith. That'll be an error that allows Haberstroh to go to third. And the Trojans have him at the corners, nobody out.
Now Coach Coleman down there at third base box here can have a little fun. Again, not an easy play, but I'm sure that Alana Smith would tell you a play she needs to make and should make about 98% of the time.
Here's Janda. Doubled in the first. Hits it right back up the middle. Flipped to second for the out. That's the only out they'll get. That's enough to bring Haberstroh home for the second run of the game. Janda aboard with the RBI fielder's choice. Munson's retired 4-6 on the put out at second for the first out of the inning.
So still credited with an RBI.
Yep. There's Ashlyn Wolf. Fouls that one back. Wolf, the shortstop, the senior. 0 for 2 tonight. Committed to Washburn University. I will give you all the money in my clip if you can tell me the mascot at Washburn University.
I can't
had to
even
look it up.
I can't even tell you what state it's in.
It's in Kansas. It's a Division II school in Kansas, Topeka, Kansas, to be exact. That ball is ripped into center field, right at the center fielder, Hubble, who had that played perfectly, and there's 2 away.
Well, I'm going to take a shot at it just because I want that money, but
That's right.
I'm going to say Storm Chasers.
It's the Washburn Ichabods, because the guy that founded the school's name was Ichabod Washburn.
Okay, there you go.
So there you go. I had to look it up. I'm not acting like I knew that either, but I had to look it up. 2 outs, 1 on. We're a run in. Center Grove leads 2-0.
I play a lot of trivia, probably at least 1, if not 2, and some weeks 3 days a week.
Okay.
I've never heard that question, but hopefully someday it'll win.
The Washburn Ichabods. There you go.
Washburn
Division II.
Ichabods.
Topeka, Kansas.
Kind of sounds like the isotopes of Springfield, and there is actually a minor league team now, but that began on The Simpsons, the Springfield Isotopes.
Washburn is in the same conference, the same Division II conference as the Pittsburgh State Gorillas.
Okay, I've heard of Pittsburgh State.
Also
I knew
in
they were
Pittsburgh,
there.
Kansas.
Yeah.
0-2. Pitch high, runner goes, throw down, and it goes into center field, but not enough for Janda to advance. Second stolen base of the inning for the Trojans. Pittsburgh State, the program that knocked UIndy out of the football playoffs this past winter.
You
Past
are
fall,
correct.
I should say.
I was on the call of the UIndy Truman State game.
Yep.
That led to that Pittsburgh State game, and again, just good job. Really, honestly, the throw was a little offline, but as a catcher, you just got to come up throwing. You don't have time to look at runners. If you look at runners, it's over.
Pop straight up in the air, drifting toward the Pendleton Heights dugout, but it'll hang up and stay in play.
Little collision there between the runner and the catcher.
Oh wow! I was watching the play.
Well, I think so was Clark, and I think so was the batter or the runner there. She was running hard, and we should get a replay. We got a great angle, the exact camera angle that we're looking at, really. Here it is. So she's just rounding third, heading home now.
Yep, and there's the collision between Janda and the catcher Clark. My question is, why is Janda running if that ball's in foul territory?
Again, there's 2 outs, so you run, right? I mean, but I don't know. It looked to me like perhaps I don't know what Janda would have been looking at other than home plate. She certainly doesn't need to be looking in foul territory. Here's another great look at it here.
She's watching the ball the whole way, as is
is.
Clark.
She
Both players are
certainly
looking
is.
at the ball and never saw each other. And, ooh, boy.
Yeah, luckily they both had helmets on, and one of them with a mask, or both of them with a mask. I don't think there was any contact there, but why in the world would you be looking in foul territory? I mean, if it drops, it drops. If she catches it, the inning's over.
So in the inning, Center Grove gets a run on a hit. There was a Pendleton Heights error, and a runner left.
And, the best thing about those 2 camera angles, and again, great job by John and Max and our camera crew, is that you could see there was no malice. I mean, she clearly, for some reason, was looking at the fielder.
No.
And
they're both looking at the ball the whole way.
Yeah. Now, I understand the catcher looking at it, but why is the runner looking at a play that is literally right in front of the dugout? I don't know, kind of goofy. I mean, but no malice. It wasn't like she saw an opportunity and said, you know what, I'm going to barrel over this.
Well, if that
catcher.
ball's dropped, she has to go back to second base
That's
anyway.
what I'm saying. So why are you?
That's why I was confused.
So just watch. Go home, go score, and then if it's dropped, you go back. If it's caught, inning's over.
Bottom of the 5th, Pendleton Heights trailing 2-0. Morgan Humble, Alana Smith, and Gloria Richardson, hitters 6, 7, 8, due up for the Arabians in this bottom 5. Pitch at the belt, taking a strike. Count evens 1-1. Slow roller to second. Janda scoops it up, flips it over to first, and Baird for the out. 1 away.
That ball was kind of cue balled as well, a little bit of a nasty spin on it, but luckily for Janda there, she was able to the ball literally kept breaking toward her. She had to move less and less.
Easy play for Janda. Here's Smith. Flew out to right in her first time up. Knuckled right at the second base bag, and Janda has it on the infield pop. 2 away quickly.
Used to joke to my kids all the time and say, hey, we're going to get that kid a scholarship if we don't start hitting it somewhere else. And I said that the other day at the Marion game. It turns out the kid was already on scholarship. Coach Davis with a change here.
Here we have pinch hitter coming up. It's Kelsey Day. The junior will hit for Richardson.
Kelsey went deep, I think, in the other game as well. Pretty much everyone hit a home run except for Rakestraw and me.
Kelsey Day hitting from the right side with 2 outs. She did indeed homer in that Lake Central game. 1 of 5 home runs the Arabians hit.
Rick and I both with far less than warning track power.
2 outs, bottom 5th. And Center Grove leads it 2-0.
Which, oddly enough, is the count on the hitter. 2-0.
Foul back over the screen. Henson has allowed just 1 hit, and that was the leadoff batter, Kaya Hubble. Only 2 other batters for Pendleton Heights have reached. Shelton walked to lead off the second. Koffel reached via error. This ball hit right at the right fielder, Warner. Stumbled for a second, but settled herself to gather it in for out number 3. Pendleton Heights goes in order in the 5th. We're through 5 here at Legends Field, and Center Grove leads Pendleton Heights 2-0. Top of the 6th next on the ISC Sports Network and 9-Star TV.
When moving into a new home, we ask ourselves questions like, who is the best internet provider in town? Well, have you considered locally owned 9-Star Connect? We've become the fastest, most reliable, and dedicated fiber-to-the-home internet company in central Indiana. Our internet packages have been modified, and we are changing speeds at a more competitive price. So give us a look. Visit us at 9starconnect.com. 9-Star is a different kind of company, and the difference is you.
Rob Brown, Jim Leisure back with you. Great shot of the sun setting behind the trees here at Legends Field on the campus of Pendleton Heights High School. 2023 Horseshoe Classic. Gator Central winning earlier tonight 7-0 over James County in the 3rd place game, and then Lake Central beating Chesterton 10-0 in the 5th place game. Certainly, I would imagine, Jim, that Lake Central, the number 4 ranked team in the state in 4A, entering play this week, when they got on the bus to come down here, did not anticipate playing in the 5th place game.
I'm sure they did not. But, you know, Rake and I both talked about that the beautiful thing about this tournament, I'm not sure how long it's been going on. I know probably about 4 or 5 years at least, if not longer, but is that there's teams from all over the state. You have teams from the Chicagoland area. You have teams from southern Indiana in Jennings County and Center Grove. You could still call them Central Indiana if you wanted to. But you know, if you're going to play in the state championship in June, you're gonna need to come down here and play some competition.
Ball hit on the line right at the shortstop, Shelton. Takes a couple steps in to retire Baird for the first out of the top of the 6th.
And these coaches all know that. Even though there's been a couple coach changes, as you see the replay there of the line drive to the perfectly placed Bo Shelton. Even though there's been coaching changes at these places, you know, I'm sure they talk to the AD and they see the quality of the teams that are here, and they're like, yes, we want to play in that.
Here's Ariana Powell, 1 for 2, singled in the 2nd, rolled back to the pitcher in the 4th. Pitch on the inside corner, taking a strike, and it's 0-2.
Good job of using both sides of the plate and just 2 different speeds. You got to change the eyeballs of the hitter, man. You can't just let them sit on things. Change speeds, change locations.
Outside, in the dirt on the 0-2 pitch, and Powell did not chase.
But I also got to believe that right now Powell's not sure what she's going to see. Am I going to see something on the inside? Am I going to see something on the outside? Something up, something down, something fast, something slow.
Ball in tight. It's not that shot of Rob Davis signaling the pitch to his catcher, who then relays out to Eliza Finley. Seeing that shot, Sydney Clark looked to her left to get the pitch call from the dugout. 2-2. Ball one hops to plate, and now after getting ahead of Powell 0-2.
3 straight changeups there, and all of them were left short. So again, we got to change something. Rake and I talked about how sometimes kids have to coach themselves. They have to make their own adjustments. Do something different.
And inside corner misses.
You know, you're going to have to change your release point. You're going to have to change your stride length. You're going to have to change where you set up on the mound. Do you move over? Good call. Ball was inside. Do you move over on the pitching rubber?
First walk of the game. And we've got a runner down at first base. That's number 9, Erica Burris. Burris running. That's a true pinch running situation.
Correct.
So Burris running at first base with 1 out.
And I'm going to guess that Powell's going to probably re-enter.
Yep. Bryn Meyer stands in. She drove in a run with a double as Rob Davis heads out to the circle to talk to his pitcher and defense.
Yeah, you got if you want to have any shot of it, obviously you got to keep them here. You can't really let them. I mean, I'm not saying you can't overcome a 3-run lead. I mean, I guess Pendleton overcame a 5-run lead in the last game, but you don't want to. You'd rather keep it at 2 and keep it a little bit more manageable.
Well, to go back to something you said earlier about that 7-8-9 spot, Center Grove 7-8-9 hitters. And Meyer stands in 2 for 2. 3 out of 6 with a double and a run batted in a 2-0 game.
Yeah, pretty impressive. And again, keep doing that, and you won't be 7, 8, and 9. They'll have to move you up.
Meyer, one of 2 Trojans with 2 hits, the other being the leadoff hitter, Haberstroh. And Meyer's got 3 hits. Dumps one into left field over the third baseman, Miller, who was playing in. It's a 3-hit night for Meyer, the freshman third baseman.
Again, I'm not going to be at their next game, but it'll be interesting to see if Meyer continues to bat 8th.
Perfectly placed. Kennedy Warner, the 9-hitter, 0 for 2 tonight. 2 on, 1 out. Bunted right in front of the plate, and there'll be no play. A little miscommunication about covering first base. See if we can take another look at this, because there was a late reaction, and now the bases are juiced. Here we go.
Well, first and second, they should be rotating the shortstop to third. And there's the first baseman, so the second baseman should be going to first.
So infield hit. Foul back, Hannah Haberstroh, the leadoff hitter. Bases loaded. Ten hits in the game for Center Grove, 2 in the inning. And if you're Pendleton Heights, this is all hands on deck time at this point.
No doubt about it. Infield in, so they're going 4 for the force. I doubt they'll be able to go back to first for the out.
Foul back to the screen, and it's 0-2.
So ideally, if you're Eliza Finley, you just want to get the punch out here. 2 strikes, back the infielders up to normal depth.
Finley has just 1 strikeout, and that was back in the second inning.
So the infield is in. You're coming 4. If you bobble it at all, just get the out at first, give up the run.
Pitch out and away, 1-2. Three straight hitters have reached. A walk, a slap hit to left, and a bunt single have loaded the bases for Center Grove with 1 out in the top of the 6th. Lifted in the air to center field. That should be deep enough to get a run in. Taken just shy of the track for the out. Other runners move up. Haberstroh with a sacrifice fly makes it 3-0.
Well, Hubble realizing, her back was literally right up against the fence, realizes she has no shot at the runner at home, so just tries to go 3 with the thing. The other 2 runners are also able to move up.
So Sydney Herman hitting here in the number 2 spot for Munson. Herman hits from the left side. Herman, a sophomore. Herman hitting for Munson. Second and third, 2 outs and a run is in. Pops straight up in the air in the infield. The third baseman, Miller, squeezes it for the 3rd out of the inning. But for the 3rd straight innings, the Trojans get a run and now lead this ball game 3-0. 2 hits in the inning, 2 runners left.
Just, again, 1 at a time here, but right now that's been enough as the pitching of Riley Henson has held up. course, she came into the tournament 3-0 with an ERA of 165. So not a huge surprise there. Pendleton Heights looking at 9-1-2. Avery Miller, Kaya Hubble, and Lily Koffel. Any of those people get on? Sydney Clark and Caitlin Goodwin, perhaps.
Just one hit so far tonight for the Arabians.
Some pitchers actually get stronger as the game wears on. That last warm-up pitch by Henson was absolutely screaming.
So Finley will hit. Finley hitting.
For Miller.
Yep. Finley 3 for 6 on the year. At the plate. Down the count 0-2, leading off this bottom of the 6th. 3-0 Center Grove on top. Hit into right field, dropping quickly, and it gets away from the right fielder. Finley's on her way, and the throw is wide of the bag. Finley's got a stand-up double. Slicing one in front of the right fielder, Kennedy Warner.
Really nice job of two-strike hitting there, not giving in at all, and pitches on the outer half, takes it the other way. And again, like you said, Warner was not able to come up with a great camera angle right there. And the minute that Finley saw the ball get away, she realized again, every step she takes, I'm taking 2 quick ones.
And then Miller comes back in the game to run for Finley down to second. So back to the top of the order in Kaya Hubble, who led off the game with a single to left. Slaps this one into left field, twisting into the corner, but it'll be foul.
And again, I know Pendleton has the ability, especially with the long ball, to come back from huge deficits, but you almost have to get a run here in the 6th inning here and then see what you can do in the 7th.
Especially when you're still a couple spots away from your home run hitters in Goodwin, Shelton, and Humble.
Yep.
Slapped foul. It's 0-2.
Choke it up a little bit. Yep, she did. She choked up just a little bit. Of course, she, again, uses that split grip.
Pitch away. Good look in that center field camera. Off the end of the bat, poked foul again, out of play.
Yeah, at some point, I suspect we're going to need some more softballs in the home plate umpire.
At some point, yeah. I'll run out here. Keep dumping them out into the parking lot. Nubbed to the circle. Hubble has speed. There'll be no play. So now the Arabians, rather, in a little bit of business. Runners at the corners and nobody out. Henson got a late jump out of the circle on that one, and Hubble with all sorts of wheels. Once Henson hesitated to get that one, there was no play.
Yeah. So Coach Davis is going to make, I think, another change at the plate here.
Looks like we have Addie Nichols coming in to hit. Nichols does have a home run to her credit. 1 for 3. 3-run home run.
Try to find something, get a piece of it. Home plate umpire is going to dust off the plate here to give him just a couple more seconds to break this thing up. There's nobody warming up in the bullpen, so it's not like I mean, what honestly could you be saying? I would have run out of things to say by now.
So runners at the corners. And here's Nichols. Addie Nichols, the junior, pinch hitting. Oh, and that one came in tight and hit her. That loads him up. Look at the replay, see where that hit her. Sounded like it hit her in the helmet.
It did. It got her right square in the helmet, right above, I think, the ear hole.
Yep.
Nope, kind of right at the ear hole.
Sure did. Knocked the helmet off.
But obviously the helmet did its job. Now, she looks totally fine. She's talking to Coach Davis, got a big old smile on her face. So I remember years ago when I was a player, I had a coach tell me we were like this, needed a runner. And he's like, get on any way you can. And I got hit in the head, too.
Oh, wow.
And I remember looking at him and go, was that good enough for you, Coach? And he goes, well, I didn't quite have that in mind. But
yeah. So Koffel re-enters to run for Nichols at first. So the bases are loaded and nobody out. Here's Clark, who's 0 for 2. Infield is in for the Trojans. 3, 4, and 5 due up.
It's about what you couldn't ask for a better scenario. Left side definitely in. Second baseman playing maybe medium depth.
Outside corner taking a strike.
So probably hit the second. They'll go ahead and concede the run. Everyone else is coming home.
And it's nubbed up the middle. Will get through for a base hit. A run is in. 2 runs are in. Play at the plate. So a 2-run single by Clark, and it's 3-2.
Oh, hindsight's 20/20, Rob. But again, you bring the infield in. If they're playing at normal depth, and that's an out. But again, you do want to cut a run down at the plate. That ball was not hit particularly hard, but it was hit hard enough to get past the drawn-in shortstop. And now the Arabians are in business.
2 runs are in, and still nobody out. Runners at first and second. Here's Caitlin Goodwin. 0 for 2. Is Goodwin struck out to end the first and flew out to deep left center.
Pretty good hitter, though. Pretty good hitter.
Homered in the Lake Central game. Pops a bunt right back to us.
Nobody working in either bullpen, so this is it. Coaches have said, you know what, we're going to Riley Henson, we're at least going to let you get out of this. Now, whether or not, whatever happens score-wise, do you pitch the bottom of the 7th? I don't know.
Swing and a miss. Big cut on a pitch tailing down and away.
Yeah, she kind of pulled the front side a little bit early. You're going to watch it, the hips and that front shoulder came out way too soon. You're shortening the bat when you do that. I mean, you might as well go up there with a 16-inch bat when you pull out, that quickly.
Pitch away a ball.
Got to stay closed. Got to throw the hands and cover the plate. When you open your front hip, open your front shoulder early, like I said, you can't cover the plate. You're swinging, and the bat only goes about right through the middle of the plate.
And that pitch goes back to the screen. Wild pitch will allow both runners to move up 60 feet.
That ball actually hit the backstop and carried him directly back to the catcher, Szymanski there, but she still didn't have a play. That was, again, good base running. Runners on base saw the trajectory of the ball and thought, you know what, I don't think that Zach Eady could catch that. I'm out of here.
Swing and a miss. Big cut, and Goodwin has gone on strikes.
Yeah, might have, again, just been trying to do a little too much in this potential game-winning, I guess, situation because she just took a big cut again. And
5th strikeout of the game for Henson. Here's Shelton. 0 for 1. Walked in the 2nd, struck out in the 4th. Shelton, a home run threat to be sure. All 3 of her hits so far this season have been home runs.
And I think this is Coach Davis going down just to make sure that she understands And again, I'm not mad at Caitlin Goodwin at all, but she kind of had that I need a home run swing here, and you don't. You just need a base hit, and you'll get at least one. Now, the runner on second maybe doesn't score depending on where it's hit, but you're not moving on contact, that's for sure.
Worst case, it's a tie game.
Yeah.
1 out, 2 in scoring position, 2 already in the inning for the Arabians. Center Grove clinging to a 3-2 lead in the bottom of the 6th.
And Henson doing what young pitchers tend to do and just really heating it up here, trying to compensate for the frustration.
Shelton check swing, but she couldn't hold it up. And the count evens. Bunted to the pitcher. Play at the plate. The slide. She's safe.
Love it. Love it. Great call by Coach Davis. Great execution by Bo Shelton. I don't think anybody in the building expected her to squeeze bunt. How about that? Nicely done.
So the squeeze bunt ties the game. Boy, that was a little sleight of hand by Rob Davis down at third base to call for that.
Gutsy call. And you know what? You got to trust the kid who can get it down, and she does, and you got to trust the runner. That was just the whole thing.
Speed on the bases with Koffel, and she was able to get there and tie the game at 3. So 3-3 our score. Still only 1 out in the inning.
Looked as if he was trying it again. I mean, I think that last play he was trying to do it again.
Pitch outside corner, taking a strike, and it's 0-2. But the go-ahead run now is at third base.
And you got to have guts a mile long to try to bunt with 2 strikes.
Pitch out and away. And the throw gets away. Throw down to third gets away, and the runner scores. That's Fisher, who comes home to score, who was running for Clark. Kylie Fisher scores. That'll be an error on the catcher. And Pendleton Heights has scored 4 times in the bottom of the 6th to take the lead.
Well, again, the catcher tries, Szymanski tries to make a play here. And just the ball, unfortunately, and there's nothing there. The runner's entitled to the base. And the third baseman, Meyer, could not reach over her to get that throw. And, you know, more importantly, too, Rob, is that Bo Shelton, very heads up, went first to third on that.
So Fisher comes home to score the go-ahead run. It's 4-3.
You know, I would never, ever think this way as a coach, but, you know, as a broadcaster, I have this luxury. But, you know, if Pendleton were to hang on to win this game after getting mauled, you know, 10 days ago, I mean, it wasn't like you got beat 4-3. I mean, you got killed. It was like 15-6. This would be a huge, huge win, you know, and this is a team that's just kind of still trying to find its identity.
Lifted in the air down the right side. It's in and out of the glove. And it's a foul ball.
Coach Davis falls to the ground. He's like, you know, if she catches that, they score easily. If she catches that, all of her momentum is taking her into foul territory. If Kennedy Warner actually catches this, this is a run.
In foul territory, though.
So it's a foul ball. Runner has to go back to third.
She certainly is tagging if that ball's caught.
And she scores.
High chop to second. Janda has to go to first, and that gets the job done to bring Burns home. The 5th run in the inning. There's 2 away.
So the result is the same. I mean, the high hopper and the runner at third base, again, Bo Shelton, sharp runner. You're going to see this thing. Right there, she's gone. She's like, there's no way I'm going to get me. And so when in doubt, get the out.
Here's Smith, the 8th hitter in the inning. What's been a 5-run bottom of the 6th for Pendleton Heights to go from being down 3-0 to ahead 5-3. Looking ahead, middle of the order due up for Center Grove in the top of the 7th, 3-4-5. Pitch out and away, a ball.
And I'm sure that Shelby Messer is going to at least be available in case Eliza Finley gets into any trouble at all.
Swing and a miss, big cut. And it's 1-2. 3 hits in the inning. 4 hits in the inning, rather, for Pendleton Heights. Foul back.
We talked about it earlier, Rob, about how, if you're going to do it now. And my golly, they're doing it now. Here comes the parade of return foul balls.
Yep. Running low. Half swing, and that's strike 3. But the damage done as Pendleton gets 5 runs in the inning. 8 batters come to the plate. And the Arabians find themselves up 5-3, 3 outs away from a championship in this Horseshoe Classic. Top of the 7th next. You're watching 9-Star TV and the IHSAA Sports Network.
My name is Patty Potty, and I'd like to talk to you about all those kinds of convenience products. People are flushing down the toilet, clogging up our sewer system, and causing expensive repair bills. They might flush down, but they sure don't flush out. Make sure you trash them. Don't flush them, only flush the 3 P's. Pee, poo, and paper. Toilet paper, that is. And remember, no wipes in those pipes.
This important message was brought to you by 9-Star Connect, your water and sewer provider.
Back at Legends Field, Pendleton Heights plates 5 in the bottom of the 6th. And the Arabians lead the number 2 ranked team in the state, Center Grove, 5-3. And getting some news during the break, Jim, there could be the top 10 could look dramatically different in 4A tomorrow when the poll is released, as top-ranked Roncalli lost tonight in the championship game at Terre Haute to Avon. 4th-ranked Lake Central lost today to Pendleton Heights. Avon beat number 3-ranked Bedford North Lawrence earlier in the day, and number 2-ranked Center Grove is 3 outs away from having its first loss of the season.
Well, polls are fun. They're fun for the kids and the fans, and I know as coaches, we looked at those things, but we also knew that, what it all comes down to the end of May and the 1st of June, and then the polls, you can just throw them away.
That's right. That's right. Nobody remembers in June
no.
with their hand out the state trophy who was ranked number 1 in mid-April.
Yeah, I was going to say on April 7th or April 8th.
So Riley Janda, Ashlyn Wolf, and Peyton Shemansky do up, hitters 3-4-5 for the Trojans, who trail by 2. Off-speed pitch hit to third, knocked down by Miller. To her feet, throws, and the throw gets away. Janda slid into first, pops up, heads to second.
So, again, third baseman there, Miller kind of bobbles a little bit, and now, again, hindsight being 20/20, you're thinking, maybe we shouldn't have thrown this thing. But she took a shot at it, bobbles it right there, and decides I'm going to go ahead and try this, and would have been awfully close if it had been a good throw.
Who do you give the error to there?
I would go 5. I thought the throw was offline.
Infield hit, and then go to second on the error.
Yeah.
Here's Wolf, 0 for 3.
Just missed that pitch there off low.
Second error of the night on Pendleton Heights. Into the right center field gap, and no one's able to get to it. Runner had to hold up at second to see if it was caught. So Janda only advances 60 feet on that ball hit into the gap, but it's a double for Wolf. And now the Trojans are in business. That's the first extra base hit, just the third extra base hit of the game for Center Grove.
Nice job going the other way with it, and you're going to see a nice job in right field. Good effort, not enough, but and again, Coach Coleman, because he had to wait to see whether or not they caught it, did not want to take a chance.
Shemansky knuckles this one into foul territory. First baseman has the play and gets it. That's a good one. 1 out in the inning. Jim, you got a better look at the bullpen in the left field corner. Is Messer up down there?
Yep, it's Shelby. She was up earlier, and that would be the person that I would trust the most, frankly, if I were Rob.
So here's Hayden Baird. 1 for 3 is Baird. And she fists this one high in the infield to the shortstop, Shelton. So 2 swings, 2 outs.
Coach Coleman's going to come down, and we're going to see a pinch hitter, I believe.
Ariana Powell stands in, but so Powell re-entered as the designated player. That's why she had to be announced.
Okay. Makes sense. I was wondering, well, why are we...
She's been in the book. What?
Yeah. Again, young lady, not a ton of at-bats this year.
Fouls this one back. She does have a hit in her first time up tonight, singled in the second. So Pendleton Heights 1 out away. The tying run is down at third base. The tying run at second base, I should say. 2 on, 2 out.
Good spot for the sophomore, though. Grow up right now.
And she hits this one down to third. It handcuffs Goodwin. Chase to the bag, and Goodwin tags her out to beat her there. And Pendleton Heights, with a 5-run 6th inning, comes from behind to defeat the number 2 ranked team in the state, Center Grove, and capture the 2023 Horseshoe Classic, the 5-3 home win. Here's this last play.
Well, you're going to see, again, good hustle, smart play. Realize that she couldn't get back to the bag, but also realize, again, we didn't have the fleetest of foot runner. I can go over and make – and this is why you don't gamble, kids, because Center Grove came in here with like 111 runs in 2 games, and what a great job by Eliza Finley, and what a great job by this Pendleton Heights team. Again, did not play particularly well in that first game of the tournament, losing 1-0 to Jennings County. Did not play particularly well in the first 3 innings against Lake Central. And then somehow, some way, Coach Davis and his staff got this squad to wake up and play Pendleton Heights softball, and that's why they're standing over there celebrating.
Hats off to these Arabians who, 8 days after losing to Center Grove, the number 2 team in the state, 15-6, they follow up beating the number 4 team in the state, Lake Central, by beating the Trojans of Center Grove 5-3.
And again, this is a team that, because they lost so many good seniors last year, is still kind of searching for their identity. They don't know quite yet who they are. But I'll tell you what, this is a good indication of what they're capable of being.
And athletic director here at Pendleton Heights, Chad Smith, handing the trophy of this 2023 Horseshoe Classic to the home team, the Pendleton Heights Arabians, who cap off a great Saturday for their program with this 5-3 win over the Center Grove Trojans. Jim, some final thoughts on what was a great day for the home team.
Well, and it was a great day, honestly, of just softball. Really good competition here today. A couple of games got a little lopsided, but, again, I'm sure all the coaches got what they wanted out of this. Like I said earlier, this is a team, a Pendleton Heights team that maybe doesn't quite understand how good they can be. This should give them some idea of how good they can be if they play together, play smart, get good pitching.
Partner, was a lot of fun. We'll catch up with you down the road.
We'll do it again.
Want to thank you for spending part of your Saturday day and Saturday night with us. Thank you to John Painter and our entire 9-Star TV crew. A great job from them all day handling the 3 games here at Pendleton Heights. Thanks to the folks here at Pendleton Heights as well, Chad Smith and the athletics crew. On behalf of our entire 9-Star TV crew, our final tonight, Pendleton Heights defeats Center Grove by the score of 5-3. I'm Rob Brown. So long, everybody.